sometimes when you don't know some things, they say that it doesn't kill you, isn't it? But when you're being ignorant about it, then that's you being silly. Recharged, it's a lie. All of this is just a way to get you into debt, like big debt. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode with Bosbeauty. My name is Bello if you're new, and if you've been coming along, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for staying. I appreciate you all. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how my salary was disappearing from my account. Yes, this, as you can see it in the title, yeah, that is what it is all about. So I'm just going to be talking today. I am not a financial advisor. So this is what happened to me. So I am just telling you about my own personal story. Yes, without any waste of time, let's get into the video. So my salary, as you all know, that I'm a full-time biomedical scientist. I started working, or I graduated and got a job in 2012 July. So obviously, as a BMS, our starting pay is a band 5, like a nurse. So then it was 21,176 per annum, I think, something like that. Now it's changed to, I think, 22,000 something. I can't remember, but yeah, that was what it was then anyway. So obviously, growing up, I didn't know anything about credit card or using credit card or anything like that. As a student, up until I think when I was about age 27, 28, thereabout, I had no credit card. Literally, I was living on my salary and whatever I have. I'm not the kind of person, or I didn't grow up in a home where we're taught on how to use your credit card to buy stuff. No, so I never did that. In fact, I think it took me years before I actually know what credit card was used for. I just know that I hear what credit card is. I just hear credit card, credit card, credit card. Like, oh, if you want to buy something expensive, use your credit card. Oh, spend your credit card. I never had credit card, and I'm like, what the hell is it? And then another thing is, my sister, because she works in the bank, she's always advising about, oh, don't use credit card, oh, you don't even need it, oh, don't get it. So I didn't have any. I'm glad I didn't have it, because I probably would have been in debt, which at a point I was in debt with that credit card. So going forward, I think about when I was about age 20, that age 27, 28 or something, it gets to a stage you feel like, oh, I'm responsible enough, or I'm old enough, and you just want to take that bold step and maybe think about mortgage, or you want to buy something, something that you feel like you need a good credit rating before you can do it. It could be a car finance, it doesn't necessarily have to be mortgage. Like I said, it could be a car, it could be you wanting to buy something and you know that you definitely need a good credit rating. Even to buy a camera, I remember with my first camera that I bought, I had to do a credit check, because it was expensive and I wanted to do it on a direct debit basis. So they had to do a credit check. So at the time, I didn't qualify for it. I didn't qualify for getting and then because I've been with Halifax, I've been in UK since 2004, and I remember my Halifax account that I have now, I've had it since that 2004. I'm not the kind of person that likes to carry 10 cards or things like that. I don't have that time. I don't even have that money, so why am I keeping 10 cards? So anyway, so that's the only account that I have, my Halifax one. So when it got to the time that I wanted to get my camera, and then I went to Jessup, I wanted it on a monthly basis, to pay direct debit. They did a credit check and I failed, and they were like, oh, we can't sell it to you unless you pay cash. And I'm like, I can't even afford that cash. I could afford it, but then I was just thinking, it's just for makeup. It's not like I'm a photographer or something. So I didn't want to leave the cash, so I thought, right, I would do that. And then, they said, oh, you need to go and check your credit rating and all of that kind of thing. That was when I knew about Experian as well. So I signed up to Experian, and I realized there was so many rubbish on my credit file. And then, I was advised that to build your credit file, you need to have a credit card, you need to maybe have a loan, or you need to have a mortgage or things like that. I don't have any of that. The only thing I have was the fact that I was on the voters register, and then I had my Halifax, which I've been using for a while. I had overdraft on it, which I had used as a student, but I'd cleared it off at this time. and obviously my mobile phone, which I've had for a long time as well. So those were the only 3 things I had. But you needed a proper credit so that they could know that yes, you are, you'll be able to maintain the credit if they give it to you or things like that. So I started my research on how I could increase my credit rating. So I went to Tesco that day, and I saw Vanquish Bank. They had like a station in front of Tesco then, and they were giving out the credit card. So I said, oh, let me give it a try, because I've never seen where you could apply for it before. I'm a very shy person, so even going to a bank to ask for these things used to scare me. It's not like they're gonna beat me up, but I just feel like, oh, are they gonna give me that kind of thing? So I couldn't go. So when I saw it then, I was like, oh, let me give it a try. They're there, why not? So I spoke to the lady, and she was like, oh, you could apply and whatever. I did apply, and she said, oh, the only thing, your credit rating isn't good. However, we could give it to you, but you have to pay £100. So I'm like, oh, £100. That's not much. So I paid the £100, and then they gave me the credit card. At the time, I had a credit limit of £250. So I got the card. I had £250 on it, and I think a week or 2 days after or something like that, I got a call from Vanquish saying, oh, did you know that you have like a balance transfer? Is it balance transfer or money transfer? Something, money transfer on your credit card. And obviously I was broke at the time, even though I paid that £100 because it wasn't much, because at least I was gonna get a credit card. That was why I paid the £100. So I paid that, and then they gave me that call, and then they said, oh, we could transfer some money into your account straight away, and you don't have to pay for it, and you won't be charged. It would just be you returning it at the end of the month. I was like, oh, really? Okay, that's fine. I took the £100, and then I paid it off. But stupid me, because that happened, I thought it was like an offer with the card. Obviously I didn't know much about it. I didn't read the documents or anything like that. So this is where the story started, where the whole thing changed. I took that money, and then I paid that off, and I think it was a few months later, a few months later, I think 2 months after or 4 months after, they increased my credit limit to £500 because I was using it and then I was paying it back. So they increased it to £500, and then they increased it to £750, and I think after that £750 they increased it to £3,000. So this was all within a year. So I was really excited that, oh, I've been good and that kind of thing. So we needed money for something around that time. I think it was a year after we needed money after, So I had the cash, my sister had the cash. She gave me the cash. I took it, and I was like, oh, I'll just keep my cash in my account. Let me use my credit card. Story time. So I took £500 out of my credit card as cash. Like I literally withdrew it from, I don't know if I withdrew it from cash machine or I transferred it. I think I transferred it into my account. That was what I did. So I transferred £500, and then the whole story changed. Every month I realized that the £500 was just increasing. It was increasing. And I was really broke at this time. My sister like, oh, how is your credit card? I'm like, oh, they've increased it, that kind of thing. And then I told her that I took some, I withdrew some transfer from the credit card. She was like, what? Why would you? I said, oh, no worry, it's free. They did it for me before, so yes, I'm allowed to do that. Are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure, because they did it before and they didn't charge me. She said, I don't believe that. You need to log in. I'm very bad with login details as well. Like password, I have too many passwords in this head that sometimes I have to reset it every single time. So the fact that she wanted me to log in for her to see it, and I couldn't remember the password, I didn't want to do that. So I just kept saying to her that no, it's fine, it's free, it's cheap, they weren't charging me kind of thing. Anyway, it got to a stage that, I was doing night shift almost permanently at work, and I was getting about £1,800 to £2,000 every month. And out of that money, I was setting, I've done like a direct debit, or is it standing note? I've done a direct debit that I pay into that credit card £500 every month. And every month, even after paying that £500, this money is not reducing, because I think I've used it for something else as well. So I think I had 1,500 to return, and then there was 1,500 left. So because I realized that 1,500 that I had spent wasn't reducing, even though I was paying that £500 in. I stopped using it altogether, that yes, I'm not going to use this card until I finish paying that 1,500. So I set up that standing order, direct debit, and it was going in to that credit card every month. I was paying that £500. And then at the end of the month, at this time, I had not started doing makeup, but I was doing wig at the time. This was when I just started Instagram, and I was already doing wigs, and I was doing well. I was doing really well, so I was getting that money as well. And then my sister, so every single time I'm saying to my sister, oh, I'm very broke, I don't have money. And she's like, what do you mean by you're very broke, you don't have money? You know, you're doing night shift, and night shift, they pay a lot. So why are you? But obviously, I couldn't tell her that I was paying £500 into my credit card. But it got to a stage because she wouldn't leave me alone. So I had to say to her, and she was like, why are you paying £500? I said, oh, because I've used 1/5 of it and I need to return it. She said, yes, if you pay £500 for 3 months, you know, that money should be finished. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought, but it's not reducing. And she said, yeah, that's why I keep telling you need to open your account. And I'm like, no, it's free. I just don't know why it's not going. And she said, it's not free. For it to be, you know, staying as it is, it's definitely not free. You're being charged interest, or you're being charged for something. I said, no, I'm not being charged for interest. This is me not even checking my bank statement or even logging into the account to see what was going on. So we went somewhere one time, and then she insisted, because it was the two of us together that day, literally all day. So she insisted that I have to open that account. If I have to reset the password, I have to reset the password. So I did all of that. I logged into that account. I am glad this was after a year of, you know, me having that 1,500 to pay off in that credit card. It was after a year, or more than after a year, I can't remember, but something like that. And I opened my account that day. Lo and behold, when we opened it, I realized I was being charged 2 different interest rates. Yeah, one for the transfer that I did. So really, because even though I transferred £500 initially, but I had used that credit card as well, so I had 1,500 to return. But because I was told that as long as you're paying the minimum from that account, then you're not going to be charged, it's a lie. All of this is just a way to get you into debt, like big debt. So we opened the account, and then I realized I was being charged 2 different interests. One of them was for the transfer that I did initially for that £500, and then the other interest that I was being charged was the fact that I didn't actually pay that 1,500 fully in that 1 month, because the credit card was the one that you had to pay what you spent every month. You have to pay it fully. So sometimes when you don't know some things, they say that it doesn't kill you, isn't it? But when you're being ignorant about it, then that's you being silly. I had my sister there on my neck saying it every now and then, but I'm just like, she didn't even want me to have a credit card in the first place anyway, so why is she telling me this? Obviously she didn't want me to use it, not knowing that I was just being foolish for not checking and for not logging into the account. We logged in, and I realized every month, apart from that 1,500 that I was owing, I was being charged at least £200 or so, because the interest rate was about, one of them was like 29.7, and then I think the other one for not paying fully was like 18% or so. So I was being charged almost 40% every month for owing 1,500. Yes, so that was where my salary was going into. So obviously I had bills and I had other things. My bills at the time, I think was about, calculating it, I think it was about 1,200 or something like that. It's still not changed now. It was about 1,200. So imagine paying 1,200 out of, you know, for bills out of 1,008, and then paying £500 to sort out, you know, a credit card charge every month. How much have I got left? £100. And that £100, I was having to buy petrol, I was paying insurance, and you know, the money was just not enough every month. And this is me thinking, I'm working, I'm getting paid, why don't I have, like, I just can't explain it. I just don't have money. Like, it's ridiculous. Not knowing that even though I was paying that £500, it wasn't even reflecting, it wasn't doing anything at all. Literally. She saw that when she opened my account and saw these charges. Oh my god. If she could beat me, I'm sure if I was maybe 10 years younger than her, she would have beaten me. Like, you're a silly girl. I keep telling you, like, she's been on my neck. She was like a fish bone on my neck, trying to, you know, see that account. But this is me trying to be silly, not wanting to open my account for her to see it, not knowing that she was doing me a favor. Anyway, at this time, so she said to me, she was like, right, this is what we're going to do. You need to clear off this debt, like, once and for all, because it was a debt that even if I didn't pay the 1.5 immediately, I was still going to be charged. There was no way I could afford 1,005. Even though I was working, there was no way I would have taken 1,005 out of my salary. How am I going to pay the bills for that month? It's not possible. But bearing in mind that I had £500 extra that I was paying into that credit card, which means I was rich, but because I was paying foolish money, I wasn't rich after all. So she said to me, she said, right, well, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you that one. And I didn't even have savings. Yes, that was another thing. So that the £500 that I was supposed to be saving every month was what was going into the credit card. So I didn't have any money left. So she said, right, I will give you the 1,005. You pay off the credit card once and for all and stop using it. Literally. I was like, yeah, but it's supposed to build my credit rating. She said, yes, it's going to build it because you're in debt, but you don't have any savings. You're working that hard. I was doing, you know, I was already doing makeup side, you know, maybe when I was off, but I was doing wig almost every week. I was doing at least £200 or £300 worth of wig. I was selling, I was making for people, different things. So I had money. It's not like I don't have the money, but because I was spending the money unnecessarily, it wasn't in my account. It wasn't even reflecting on my body. Then I couldn't even buy what I wanted on myself. That's how bad it was. Anyway, she gave me the money. I paid off the 1,005, but obviously we had an agreement that, you know, she would give me the 1,005 and I was going to be paying that £500 I was paying into the credit card. I was going to be giving it to her every month, which means I was going to pay that £500 to her for 3 months. I knew that was doable because I was paying into that credit card anyway. It's just that the stupid interest I was paying wasn't making it show. Anyway, so she gave me the money, I paid that off, and I stopped using the credit card, and then I paid her off the £500 every month. Trust me, within 3 months, I paid the £500. I paid 1,005 to her, and I felt relieved. Even if I decided that I didn't have the £500, the fact that that money that she borrowed me didn't have any interest on it, it was from my sister, even if it was from my friend, or even if it was still from the bank, the fact that there was no interest on it just made it better. If I wasn't paying that £500 into that credit card, then I would have known that yes, I couldn't afford it, but I was paying it, which means I had it. So after I paid the 1,005 to her, this girl became rich. Like, my money was in my account, and then I started saving my money. Another story that I'm going to give you next time in my next video will be how to actually save your money and be debt free. So I was able to be debt free from borrowing that money from my sister and paying it off to her monthly. If I had gone, you know, obviously if I had decided not to pay that £500 every month, it meant that it would the month that I would have paid it off would have increased, and that would have been more debt on me. But I was disciplined that even though I wanted to get rid of that credit card debt, I wanted to be financially free as well. I wanted to, you know, have my money. I wanted to be able to go into the store and buy myself a perfume, or I wanted to go into the store and buy myself a shoe. This was the kind of life that I lived when I was a student. So why couldn't I live it when I was working? It was because I was paying stupid interest to credit card. Yes. Now I don't pay that silly money anymore, and my money stays in my account. If you've ever fall victim for this kind of a situation or anything similar, then please leave it in the leave it in the comment section. I will be really happy to read it. At least something to know that I'm not alone and I wasn't the only one that was foolish. Or I'm not saying you're foolish, but at least I have partner. Okay, yeah, that's not what I meant, but at least, you know, or even if you're in this kind of shoe, then definitely that is a solution. If you feel like you have a debt, you know, in your credit card, or it could even be a loan, try and pay what you're supposed to pay monthly. If it's interest free, then it's fine, but still make some sort of payment. Don't wait until you start getting interest charged on it. If I had not waited, or if I had not been silly that because they transferred £100 to me, and then I went ahead and transferred £500, and then I started spending the money and I was paying the limit of £10, £20. No, the credit card I had wasn't that kind of credit card. It was a credit card that if you spend that £1,500 a month, you have to return the £1,500 a month. If you spend £3,000 a month, you have to return the £3,000 a month. But I didn't do my research clearly, and I paid for it. Thanks for listening to my ranting. Obviously, this has been some years now. I'm not paying that kind of money anymore, but yes, I'm glad to share with you. And if you're in that situation, then please pick 1 or 2 things to learn from my story. Borrow money from someone that you trust, someone that is not going to stress you. Pay off your debt, and then you will be financially free. I will see you next time in my next video. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, and give this video a thumbs up. And if you like my hair, I've got a link to this hair. I will link it up there somewhere, or it will be in my description bar. Please check it out. And if you like my makeup, I have a video on how I achieve this look. Okay, see you next time. Bye.